Egg prices are down, but other staples, ground beef, lettuce, coffee, all of those costs have already been up in the past year, in part because of tariffs. So this is another headwind here.
The consumer price index jumped 0.9% for the month. Energy prices jumped by 10.9%. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Pakistan as the U.S. gets ready for peace talks with Iran. Al Jazeera says security's tight in Islamabad, where Vance and the U.S. team will meet with Iranian negotiators on Saturday for the first high-level meeting between the two nations since the Islamic Revolution of 1979. The U.S. negotiators will include Vance, U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff, and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Leaders overseeing the universities of Wisconsin pushing back on claims their former president was blindsided by his firing. Two regents told lawmakers Jay Rothman knew the concerns ahead of Tuesday's vote to remove him. They say Rothman was slow to act on key issues like artificial intelligence, was not fully aligned with the board, and attempted to limit public board discussion and open records. Regents President Amy Bogas says the decision was unanimous and not political. Regents say Rothman could speak publicly about his firing but hasn't, while accusing him of pushing a one-sided narrative that harms the university system. A woman recovering after being rescued from a late-night apartment fire in Sturtevant.
Fire officials responded just before 11 p.m. Wednesday near 86 and Durand, where a second-floor apartment was completely engulfed in flames. Crews rescued a 64-year-old woman from the unit where the fire likely started. 2 Racine County Sheriff's deputies were taken to the hospital and evaluated for smoke inhalation. All other residents were safely evacuated. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
If you're driving on I-94 tonight, you'll want to plan ahead on the west end of the mega project. Debbie Lozica has the details.
We've got a full eastbound closure scheduled starting 11 p.m. tonight until 7 a.m. tomorrow as the crews plow through this phase of the project. The DOT's Eric Hansen says it'll be a busy stretch.
This will be over on the west leg between 76th Street and the Stadium Interchange.
This closure, weather permitting, is tied to the routine upkeep as the construction continues.
This is to continue to do preventative maintenance on the existing pavement, refresh some pavement marking over there as spring continues on.
And as usual, drivers are advised to plan extra time or consider alternate routes to get around it.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 149 points, NASDAQ up 152, S&P 500 up 11. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Restrictions apply.
Pre-order your chicks at your local Tyson's by February 13th. Over 140 breeds of chicks, ducks, geese, meat birds, turkeys, and more. Choose from old faithful breeds, tried and true breeds, and fancy and fun breeds. While you're here, stock up on your chick essentials from brands like Prosper, Nutrina, Little Giant, Kalmbach, and more. Pre-order now at your local Tyson's through February 13th. Chicks not available at Charles City.
More for you.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Wisconsin men's hockey team is through to the Frozen Four final for the first time since 2010. Badgers upset number 2 North Dakota 2-1. Wisconsin battles Denver tomorrow night. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. The Bucks tip off against the Nets at home. Milwaukee's already been eliminated from playoff contention. And the Brewers square off against the Nationals at home. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a new crash. It is off on the right shoulder. This is going to be I-41 south at the ramp from Good Hope Road east.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Becoming partly cloudy today. Highs 47 to 53. Inland mostly clear and 35 overnight. Partly cloudy tomorrow with chance of afternoon and evening showers. Highs 50 to 58. Scattered showers and storms on Sunday. Mostly cloudy. High 70. Slight chance of rain Monday. 73 for the high. And a chance of showers and storms again on Tuesday with a high 72. 45 in Madison. 40 in Green Bay. 44 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:08.
It's Friday, which means it's time for the Political Power Hour on Point Taken, where the left and right go head-to-head on this week's top stories and issues. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. The 4-pack, as I call it. Only I call it that.
You ever called it that before?
Well, I coined it this week because it's actually in the newsletter. I did a write-up. It's called the 4-pack. Joe Zapecki.
Hi.
Democratic strategist, looking good today. People who listen Wednesday know what I'm talking about.
He's got his computer and his glasses. It's going to be a serious day. That's all I'm going to say.
He seemed he came in, first of all,
he's got some points he wants to deliver.
Yeah, very focused, Joe Zapecki.
Well, we also missed his birthday last week, so
yeah, let's get to that
birthday, Joe Zapecki.
Joe is one of those people that hides it on Facebook for some reason. I don't know why. Because that's how I see people's birthdays.
I think it's a little ridiculous. It is the best feature of Facebook.
Absolutely.
When the only time you contact people over the course of a year is their birthday. You guys are not in that group. Yeah, so I just took it off.
So happy birthday.
Thank you.
What are you, 59 now? 58?
Emotionally, yes.
My soul, sure.
Experience-wise. Do you wish others happy birthday?
I do. Okay. I try to be very good about it. But I studiously avoid wishing anyone a happy birthday who I haven't talked to in the year since.
Oh.
I'm a total weirdo. What can I tell
you?
Yeah. Way too much work.
Just like Arnold did for 40
tell the
minutes.
people you care about that you care about them and love them.
Every day.
And
if they're in your friend group, you've accepted them. So why can't you just wish them a happy birthday?
Well, people in my friend group I talk to all the time. It doesn't take a year.
Really? I have people in my friend group I never see or talk to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, can we talk about the election this week?
Right, let's get
going. Jeez.
Billibustering over here. Bill doesn't want to face the music.
Joe coined a new phrase.
You were awfully quiet on the text thread this week after Tuesday night.
He was licking his wounds.
I don't think you said anything.
It was a rough night, Tuesday night. There's no question about it. And I think Tom Tiffany, congressman and gubernatorial nominee in waiting, said we got our butts kicked. And he was right. It was the most extraordinary beatdown I've seen in at least 2 decades in the state of Wisconsin. It's not the best Supreme Court race ever. It's not the biggest margin ever. But it was decisive in a lot of different ways, and it actually had an impact down ballot, a negative impact for a lot of Republicans, including the mayor of River Falls, who'd been mayor for 14 years, and the Green Bay City Council, Eau Claire City Council. There were a lot of tipping points.
Easy to ask, maybe hard to answer. Why did that happen? So
former Governor Walker said money. I think that's part of the answer. Listen, I'm just going to say it. The infrastructure on the Republican side has atrophied so badly that there's statewide races are going to be out of reach for some time unless there's dramatic change.
How did we get here?
To be honest with you, I'm going to say some other controversial things. I think favorable maps had part of this, had something to do with this. I think Republicans got extremely lazy when the maps were easy and they didn't have to compete. And once those maps changed, the emperor had no clothes and we weren't ready for it. And we should have seen it coming. We should have prepared better. We didn't. And now we're in a position where, we're sucking wind for sure.
Shimming should go?
Yes.
Who was waiting in the background, though, to take up that mantle?
Well, if it's up to the executive committee of the Republican Party of Wisconsin, they will do absolutely nothing. That's what they're put in place to do, is nothing. And so it will have to be party fathers who come in and say, this is the direction this thing's going to go.
What about the party mothers?
Well, they're included.
Yeah.
Liz Uline and
Sorry, I'm
Diane
just going to shut up
Hendricks
and
are
let
part
Bill
of the,
talk. This is
part
going
of the
great
party
for
fathers. So, yeah, they're going to have some. There's going to have to be a come to Jesus here soon.
I got a lot of traction on social media this week just saying this idea that the reason you lost is just money, and that's what former Governor Scott Walker
It's a part
said.
of it.
For a bill that he signed, just
It is a part of it, but it's not the only thing.
It's not the only thing.
And this idea, because I pay attention to what other people say in our market and in our state, and the idea that the Republicans have to be more out of touch, more fighting and taking back. That's not a winning message. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not working with voters in Wisconsin, I think.
Well, if you watch social media on the right, and I have to watch it through my burner account because mine still is not
Bill's
not
in
live.
Twitter jail.
I'm in Twitter jail now for 8 straight weeks. Yeah, I think they're coming to the wrong conclusions. They're blaming Trump voters who don't turn out in spring elections. Well, give them a reason to come out and vote.
Absolutely.
Right? Have an exciting candidate. Have a plan. Let me give you a couple proof points. Marie Lazar, I like her. I think she's a phenomenal judge. This isn't about her. This is about her campaign. In Waukesha County alone, Maria Lazar got 43,600 fewer votes than Brad Schimmel got in Waukesha County a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago. That's her home county. If she can't do at least as well as Brad Schimmel, that was a failed campaign from the jump. No questions asked. And, the fact that she got beat by 20 points, I think that's only part of the story. That you saw where her money went. It went mostly to consultants, not to anything else. But here's the truth about politics. If you have a compelling message, the money will come. She never had a compelling message.
Joe Zepecki, what do you think about Tuesday?
Can you be any stronger than I've
How much time
been?
do I have?
Yeah. You got a minute, so then we'll get back to you.
So let's start big picture. For weeks, months, we've been saying Republicans have a political problem, right? The Trump administration and Donald Trump are not making good on the promises they made to voters. That means that one of the 3 dials, the Republican dial, the enthusiasm is way down. People feel like they got sold a bill of goods. Independents are breaking towards the left, and Democrats are fired up. All you got to do is step outside on the front porch and whisper, "There's an election." And they will go vote. And I say that because it's not like Chris Taylor had the same amount of money that Susan Crawford had last year, right? She had a fraction of what was spent as well, but the Democratic base turned out. And on the Republican side, you can't win the game if you don't step on the field.
Right.
And so that's the thing. They took a flyer on this. They just said, we're going to wait. I've got a question for you in the next longer chunk of this. But if you don't decide to engage, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. We're going to stay in the election for a little bit. There's a lot of conversation we can have, down ballot races, all the fun stuff that we talk about after elections with Bill and Joe on the Friday edition. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
One side is never enough.
That's Ben.
If only everything was twice as supportive.
He's working on a list of catchy slogans to promote Penny Mustard's exclusive line of double-sided hybrid mattresses.
Sleep, flip, repeat.
What's a hybrid mattress, you ask?
This hybrid combines a supportive coil spring center with specialty foam.
Our mattresses come with a split personality.
You never hear other companies talking about double-sided hybrid mattresses, and that's because these mattresses were developed by the sleep geniuses at Penny Mustard.
Because comfort shouldn't be just one-sided.
Made in Wisconsin and built to last.
A breathable, double-sided mattress that lasts 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Backed by a 1-year comfort guarantee.
Flip it. Flip it real good.
Come see our selection of sophisticrafted, double-sided hybrid mattresses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
Flippable versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Thinking of building or remodeling? Then don't miss the Metro Builders Association's free spring tour this weekend. See new homes, condos, subdivisions, and lots all over southeastern Wisconsin from MBA Builders. The MBA spring tour sites will showcase new home building trends and floor plans, energy-efficient products, fixtures and appliances, structured wiring, home automation, security systems, and interior design. Don't miss the Metro Builders Association's free spring tour, presented by Nuns this weekend. Visit MBAspringtour.com for locations.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken, the Friday edition with Joe Zepecki and Bill McCoshen. We are talking about election results from Tuesday. Do we have more we want to talk about what we gained or what we gleaned from Tuesday? Because I also know that we want to get to what this can foreshadow for the fall.
So listen, the scope of this was extraordinary.
Yep.
Chris Taylor won 7 of the 8 congressional districts across the state of Wisconsin. 71 counties.
Does that mean they're drawn fairly?
The counties?
The congressional districts?
No, it does not.
Good question.
It speaks to the overwhelming scope of the victory. But here's my question for Bill. I've been telling folks all week, I want to believe that if you reversed the partisan, roles here, that Democrats would have felt like, my God, we're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm talking about Trump and the MAGA super PACs.
Yep.
We know we're headed for a rough fall. Even if we can't make the investment to go and win this thing, by God, we got to spend a couple $1 million and try some stuff. Figure out how you can motivate a depressed base to get to the polls when it's hard, because that's what your party is facing this fall. As far as I can tell, they didn't even do that. The Democratic side, we would have been like, we're going to run a controlled test with one approach in Madison and one in Milwaukee, see what we can do to learn for the fall. And I didn't see it. It was literally nothing. It was like the campaign that wasn't. Why is that?
Well, there was a warning sign a couple weeks ago. Marquette's last poll had Taylor up again among most likely voters, 30 to 22. And I said that's an opportunity for a final investment. So either that poll was trash, and I mean way off, because Chris Taylor would have gotten 15 to 1 of the undecideds.
Yep.
Probably not likely. Or we missed the signal and decided, that race is a goner. We're not going to make that investment. But again, that comes back to the candidate and the plan. Donors view these as investments. So if they see a good plan, they will invest in it, even if it's a long shot, but there has to be a plan. They never saw that. Yeah. I mean, there are ally groups on the right. I'll give you 2 of them. WMC for one, FedSoc, the Federalist Society, for another, that have historically, and I mean historically, invested 7 figures in Wisconsin Supreme Court races. Both invested zero. Zero.
That's what I mean when I say you can't win the game if you don't step on the field. You didn't even try.
But is it because they're saving money for the fall? Is it because they just didn't see the investment? Because what changes next year when the next Supreme Court race is going to happen?
Yeah.
And you have the opportunity to either stay at 5-2 or go down to 6-1.
Yeah, 6-1 is more likely at this point in time.
All right, let's talk about the enthusiasm. Clearly, Dems were excited to vote. They turned out, the numbers were pretty good for the state. As a Republican, as a conservative, are you worried going into the fall that there's just not a lot of enthusiasm for all of our candidates?
Yeah, I am. It will take a very different approach to try and re-engage, to Joe's point, and to get them to the polls. And I'm not going to throw stones if you're a Trumper and only come out when he's there. We got to give you a reason to come out for other reasons. He'll never be on the ballot again, right? But he does motivate Democrats every single election. So he is motivating people, just apparently not all of ours.
He's talked about doing sort of campaign, like the 2024 version of Trump, where he goes out and does massive rallies leading up to the midterms. Yeah. Is that going to help?
I think in certain places it'll help. But
in Wisconsin?
At the end of the day, this is my opinion, The war in Iran has to be over, and gas has to be near or below $3 a gallon.
I know what Joe wants to jump in.
If those two things don't happen, it's going to be a tough fall.
Is there now a clearly defined Trump fatigue?
I think there is fatigue with this war, which isn't even that old. It's 5 weeks old, 6 weeks old. This isn't what people voted for necessarily. They don't see the big picture, and it is impacting them when they fill up their tank.
The other thing I don't think we should discount is how much the post-Dobbs landscape has impacted these races. When I was growing up, early 21st century, these races used to be about conservatives beating up on progressive judges, saying they're soft on crime, that, as if a Supreme Court justice is ever responsible for throwing away the key after you lock someone up. It was nonsense. When the Dobbs decision came down and many of the abortion healthcare related questions were kicked to the states, these races became about that. Mm-hmm. And that issue, women's reproductive freedom is what our side calls it, became a crystal clear signal to an electorate that is now increasingly college educated and that is a different mix of voters than you see in fall elections. So I don't think we should discount the post-Dobbs impact on these races when you look at 4 progressive women judges in a row romping to victory.
I think Dobbs had a serious impact on the Protasiewicz-Kelly race. And by the way, Chris Taylor, for as well as she did, she is not the best campaign ever. She's the 4th best campaign. Susan Crawford being number 1 last year. Brad Schimmel in a losing campaign.
And what is your measure for
raw
this?
number of
total
votes.
raw votes.
Oh, okay.
Brad Schimmel's number
clarifying.
2. Protasiewicz is 3. Taylor's 4. So she did make the top 5, but she's 30% fewer than what Crawford got a year ago. And where I was right last Friday, voting was way down.
It was 1.5.
Yeah,
it was just shy. It was just shy of what
before.
it was in 2020. It was way more than it was in 2018. It was just shy of what it was in 2020.
Yeah, so it was down 800,000 votes. So enthusiasm overall was down, but there was enough on the Democratic side for sure.
On the Dobbs question, so are you saying voters in this race and in this fall are more discerning about specific issues, or is it just a general, like, we got to do something?
I think people became educated about the fact that this is the type of constitutional question because of Wisconsin's 1849 law being reactivated after Dobbs. Right, but that whole chapter with successive elections about this, I think made voters smarter and understood, like, oh, this is what a Supreme Court justice does.
Yes, I think it's exactly that. As far as if you're going to kick it back to the states, voters now understand who they need to elect for their state to protect it. All right, let's take another break. We'll wrap up on the election results after this with Joe, Bill, Steve, and me, Kristen.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Tory Low Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Tory Low Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner, serving greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
Hey, this is WTMJ. Steve Sifity for Milwaukee Weight Loss. It's the secret, by the way, and I did it last year, lost 45 pounds, and another 8 or so this year. Losing 1 pound of fat every day, you can do it. At Milwaukee Weight Loss, they know the secret. Doctor-developed, natural, none of the drugs, none of the shots, none of the gimmicky stuff, none of the serious side effects, which is significant. Their program resets your metabolism. It changes how you look at food, how you consume, what you think about. And here's the cool part. It costs half as much, and I'll give you an even better deal than that in a little bit. But it works twice as fast as most of the other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation. Just have the conversation. Start with that. Here's the deal. Right now, $200 off their spring special. Book your free consultation. Their coaching is the best. They are so good at that. They will keep you on track, keep you motivated, highlight what you need to do, and spotlight what you're doing well. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike during the nation's largest bike sale. That's right, the Wheel and Sprocket Bike Expo sale is back. And so is our trade-in, trade-up program, which means you can trade in your old bike for a gift card to use towards your new bike.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes. Over 2,000 brand new and used bikes on sale. along with thousands of accessories, from helmets and lights to car racks and more.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, trading your old bike for a gift card towards a new bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 at the State Fair Park inside the Expo Center. Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Friday's League, Bill McCoshen, Joe Topecki, our strategist friends. The best political conversation in the state of Wisconsin. I said it out loud and I mean it. It's backed up by the numbers, so I don't even have to stretch. All right. I don't know where Kristen wants to go with this, but and we can continue after because elections are big deals and big parts of what we talk about. Any impact of this race on the next year's Supreme Court, Bill? Like, who's that candidate going to be for Republican?
We got elections before that.
I don't want to get to that, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's either the conservative side has to start earlier and then fund them.
Right.
You know, I'm friends with Justice Bradley, and I teased her during the race that she would have won this easily, and she and I had a little exchange after the race. She said, "You still think that?" I said,
I got a conservative
not.
friend that texted this week. He goes, "That was quite the take from Bill."
Probably not. But we got to rally behind somebody, and
Someone's
it has to be somebody
step up.
charismatic. That can understand today's dynamics of these Supreme Court races, which is confirmed by every Marquette poll in the last 4 years, which is voters want to know where you stand on issues they care about. Don't give me that high and mighty, law and order, I'm above that, I can't give you baloney. Democrats have been giving their position on issues, and they've been winning.
It is more likely that conservatives don't even field a candidate, and we have two progressives next spring than it is that conservatives win next spring's election.
Sadly, that's a possibility.
Wow. Thank God for Brian Hagedorn.
Until he flips parties.
Oh, wow. I was just going to say the lucky man gets the bathroom all to himself in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's a lonely, quiet bathroom probably.
Right.
Probably gets a lot of quiet time in there. I know it's we obviously have the fall elections, but that matters to people who are stung from what happened on Tuesday if you're conservative.
I think it all matters. Stephen, I said this a year ago. I'll say it again today. I think it's so not right that the 5 women justices are taking pictures in the green room before an election. This shouldn't be a team. They're all supposed to do their own job and review everything.
I totally agree. It gives me the ick.
Yeah.
It gives me the ick. The way I understand that they're friends and stuff, but I saw those pictures and I was just like,
it's a very bad look.
It has like a weird book club vibe to it that I don't like. And I'm a fan
a
of
couple
books.
years back, I said all these women look like they'd be in a book club.
Yeah. It's like,
You don't think life is a team game, Bill?
No.
Wow.
Look at
That's why he's a conservative.
Philosopher Joe.
And I'm a liberal.
All right, we got lots to talk about. There's probably more election stuff we'll weave through the course of the show.
I'm sure I'm lighting up the text line today.
Funny thing, because the conversation's
Someone called
so
us all
good.
liberals today, Bill.
Oh,
you were
wow.
included in that.
How did I get there?
The conversation's so good, I haven't even looked at the text line yet, so I'll do that during the news
Beg that
break.
Bill will make an appearance when we talk Iran next.
Let's go.
We haven't even gotten to Iran yet, which is a very serious conversation we need to have. We got Bill and Joe, local news update, Connie Weber. Before we get to that, the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Mike Tabusky. Consumer prices are up another 3.3% year on year, according to the latest Labor Department data. Among the highest, gas prices. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
We are not yet seeing in this report a big spike in food costs because of higher oil. We know that a lot of grocers paying fuel surcharges. They often pass those costs down to shoppers, so that would likely show up in the months ahead.
Those rising costs are deeply related to the war in Iran, with shipping through the Strait of Hormuz still at an effective standstill. Vice President J.D. Vance is on his way to Pakistan right now for peace talks. It's the final countdown to the end of the Artemis II mission.
We're just hours away now from the galaxy's most anticipated homecoming. The Artemis II crew set to return to Earth, splashing down off the California coast just after 8 p.m. Eastern tonight, completing their 10-day mission to the moon and back.
ABC News transportation correspondent Gio Benitez. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1031. I'm Connie Weber. The FBI investigating a Cudahy High School staff member who was arrested Thursday by the Waukesha Police Department. School District of Cudahy issued a statement saying it had been made aware of the recent arrest and is taking the matter very seriously, cooperating fully with law enforcement. District says the staff member is no longer working within the district. Governor Tony Evers has signed a bill allowing online sports betting through Wisconsin's tribes. The bill signing on Thursday will now lead to negotiations with all 11 tribes to create new agreements. Governor says he wants a plan that benefits every tribe, not one that leaves some behind. The law already facing a legal challenge. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty says it plans to sue, arguing the measure is unconstitutional. Village of Kewaskum hosting a parade to honor Olympic gold medalist speed skater Jordan Stolz, who grew up in the area. As part of the celebration, Fond du Lac Avenue has been temporarily renamed Jordan Stolz Avenue. Stolz most recently won 2 gold medals and a silver medal at the Olympic Games in Milan. The parade set to kick off today at 4 o'clock at the Kewaskum Public Library. Time for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow down 145 points at 48,040. NASDAQ up 138, 22,961. S&P 500 up 9 points at 6,834. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Crash off on the right shoulder, I-41 south at the ramp from Good Hope Road East has been cleared off the shoulder. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Becoming partly cloudy today. Highs 47, lakeside 53, inland clear overnight with a low 35. Chance for afternoon or evening showers tomorrow. Highs 50 to 58. Scattered showers and storms on Saturday. A high of 70. Just a slight chance of rain on Monday with a high 73. And a chance for showers and storms again on Tuesday with a high 72. 45 in Madison, 41 in Green Bay, 44 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet Spring Black Friday sale is going on now, which means it's time to shop unbeatable spring savings store-wide while supplies last. Like 25 quart bags of Miracle Grow potting mix, 2 for $12. 30% off select men's and women's Columbia apparel. Men's full blue denim jeans, just $10.99. And assorted bags of grilling pellets or buy one, get one free. Don't miss the best prices of the season during our Spring Black Friday sale only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention in return. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit froedtert.com/ortho.
Welcome back. I can tell you, and we've talked about this before, the break conversation would make like a great bonus if we could actually...
If we could air what we say
Air
off
what we
air.
say, yeah.
But I will say this will be our time to celebrate and encourage you to watch the YouTube stream, which is very fun on Fridays, especially when all four of us are in studio.
And try to
What did you call us? The Four Horsemen? What are we?
Four-pack.
Four-pack.
Like six-pack, only politically lean.
Oh, I thought you meant like a four-pack of beer.
No, like a six-pack.
Like a variety pack.
Six-pack
of beer.
This is Milwaukee. We're a four-pack
Is
of
that how
smokes.
bad the economy is? Nobody buys a six-pack anymore?
I feel like craft breweries always do little four-packs of like tall boys.
Yeah, some do.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
Guinness
making
does.
stuff
You can get a
up.
four-pack of
Doesn't
Guinness
Hams
do a four-pack? I think they do.
Guys, we almost ended a civilization
I
on
was gonna say,
Tuesday.
let's talk
Can
about
we be
something
serious?
incredibly serious.
Joe
as far
wants to
as
talk about war.
There's been a lot of things happening since the last time we were together last Friday, from the Easter tweet of open the effing straight to another, I don't know if we're calling them tweets, Truth Social on Monday saying an entire civilization is going to end tonight. Then, no, that wasn't Monday. That was Tuesday. And then a ceasefire that isn't really a ceasefire because Israel is still striking Lebanon. The strait is actually not open. Talks are happening this weekend, I think. Where do we start?
This is a disaster. We've been at this 7 weeks. We never should have done this in the first place. And where are we today? We have spent hundreds of billions of dollars. We have lost brave American troops. Hundreds apparently have been injured. We have learned this week that Hegseth and the Department of Defense were lying about the nature of those casualties, that those service members were not in a fortified position. This was not a squirter. They were unprotected. The Strait of Hormuz remains closed. Trump's main goal now apparently is reopening the strait, which was open before he started the war.
And was free.
Iran is now charging a $2 million toll. We have depleted our munitions and interceptors around the region. We have demonstrated once again that we can't be trusted with global leadership. This is a strategic debacle. And this is what I think people have to understand. The excellence of our armed forces, from hitting the targets, from going to rescue that downed pilot, tactical brilliance cannot make up for strategic incompetence. There was no strategic upside here because the people who chose this war within the Trump administration never defined what victory is. And now we have a mess on our hands, and America's standing in the world has declined even further. I won't do all my rants, but like one of them is like, this president, time after time, beats up on our European allies, our traditional NATO allies and alliance, threatens to invade a NATO country. Then when we launch this war in Iran, we don't ask them for help. We don't consult with them beforehand. Then when it gets sticky, he begs them to help. Then he says, oh, actually, we don't need you. And now, apparently yesterday, he met with the NATO Secretary General and threw another tantrum because he's like, well, you guys can't be counted on. It's like, does he think that like every morning people wake up, roll out of bed, and the Men in Black memory flasher like goes in front of their eyes and they forget what he said yesterday or last week or last month? This is a debacle, and it's going to take years to unwind.
Bill,
I don't think it's going to take that long, but the truth is, from a political standpoint, they don't have that long. I've said this before. Donald Trump is not running again, so he doesn't have to be as concerned potentially politically about the impact of this. But Republicans in Congress sure as heck do, and Republicans, as we saw Tuesday night, at the state level sure as heck do. This is, I think, the greatest thing that's happened since we were here last Friday was the Easter miracle where we rescued a guy, a downed pilot. And I'm not a military guy, but I've watched Daniel Raisin Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who said before the public, that was a more complicated operation than getting Maduro out of Venezuela. That's pretty spectacular what they were able to accomplish. So we're demonstrating to the world the might of the U.S. military, the tactical advantages we have. But I have some concerns about the strategy. And when does this end and stop impacting Americans?
Like a lot of things, this administration, in my opinion, looks at things at a superficial level. We have the most powerful military in the world, no question.
No doubt.
It allows you to do those things at the front end. What we don't have is we've leaked out or fired all of the experienced military people who would guide us in the after process of once you launch all these missiles, once you make those inroads into that country. And now we're sitting with Pete Hegseth. He's not qualified.
This is part of what pisses me off about this guy. The people who executed that mission, do you think they were trained and learned how to do all that only since Hegseth unleashed the woke, the lethality of our forces and took the woke handcuffs off? Of course not. Those men and women learned how to do their jobs under successive administrations, probably going back to Barack Obama.
Yep,
our warriors
back to Bush.
know how to fight and know how to win. That is what I'm talking about when I talk about tactical excellence. But you cannot conflate the two. If you are China, if you are Russia, you are happier than you've ever been that you learned about America's capabilities or lack thereof. Because all that divides China and Taiwan is a waterway. And this administration chose not to bear the cost in lives and resources it would have taken to force that thing reopen. That has made Iran more powerful, at least in their region. Right? This is a regional power. And they thought the deterrent that they needed was a nuclear weapon. It now turns out they've learned that they can control the strait and they have an economic deterrent. That makes them, for all of the losses they have suffered, and they have suffered them, I'm not suggesting otherwise, but that makes them strategically stronger than they were 2 months ago.
So at this point, Bill, what would need to happen this weekend in these talks, and what is even possible to have any kind of political win?
The strait has to get open. Whatever they decide, J.D. Vance is on the ground in Pakistan. They're starting meetings today, I believe. That has to be number one objective for the United States.
But how do you spin that to say that's a win when it was open before we went in there and did this?
Well, it's a great question. I think we have already decimated their military. Not completely. They can still fire stuff. That's
they
clear.
still have enough firepower to hold the strait.
Well,
right? Like that's
potentially. Yeah, or at least we're concerned about that. We don't know for sure.
And what they're angling for now is a stream of revenue on top of their oil revenues to rebuild their military capacity.
But that has to be number one because that's critical to the political downstream of this, and that's gas prices in the United States. And to Joe's point, this is one of the frustrating parts. If you're a conservative, follow Eric Erickson. Very good guy. He's not a Trumper, but he wrote something this week where he said Trump has these hyperbolic posts that he makes.
Outbursts.
That make him look like a madman, but there's a strategy behind it. And he explains the strategy. But here's where I thought Erickson sort of missed it. There's a consequence. And I'm going to give you a real-life example. When he says we're going to decimate a civilization, I had a buddy who is a former Marine who is a hardcore Trumper. He voted for him 3 times, would vote for him 3 more times if he could run again. He was so pissed about that statement. He said, I didn't get in the Marines for genocide, right? So there are downstream consequences to the stuff he puts in posts that are not helpful politically to him or the Republican base.
So it's not just the policy.
It's not just the policy.
All right, let's take a quick break. This is Point Taken.
The Run for the Roses is coming to St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join us Saturday, May 2nd for the Kentucky Derby Day in partnership with Woodford Reserve. Watch the race live, sip on specialty cocktails including the classic mint julep, and dress to impress. Best hat and best dress contests are on the card. Admission is free, or you can upgrade to VIP for $75 for exclusive food stations and 2 complimentary cocktails. Visit stkatearts.com to RSVP or grab your tickets at stkatearts.com.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Don't think twice.
Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
We always keep the heat on, even when the summer's raging here in Wisconsin, which is not very long, a couple months at most. Where are we going next? Where do you want to go?
Well, we don't have a ton of time left for this half hour. Is there final thoughts on... My thing is also, because there's another part of this, which is Israel, which we can't control, which according to a New York Times Maggie Haberman, Jonathan Swan article this week, that was... Apparently, I think a lot of people already assumed this, but apparently there was a presentation from Netanyahu back in February.
Yeah, he brought PowerPoint slides.
That was a PowerPoint slide as far as how easy this is going to be, that influenced our decision to go do this. And so even as we this week saw that we were trying to do a ceasefire and Israel's like, yeah, we're good. We're going to keep striking Lebanon. And so there's a whole other part of this of who we've now aligned ourselves with in Israel and what their intentions are that are very outside of what ours are. I don't think you have to look very hard to see that.
I like being right. And 7 weeks ago, it was obvious to me that Israel dog-walked us into this, and I used that phrase multiple times. And that reporting from Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan and others confirms it, that after the Netanyahu presentation, the intelligence community basically took his 4 claims and did their analysis on it. And they're like, 2 of these are total BS. And it turns out that the intelligence community was right. But what you hear from the other voices in the room, the Vances, the Rubios, the Wileses, et cetera, is that they trust this president's instincts. That because he gets it right so often, they just were like, yeah, screw it, let's roll the dice. And now we've got 13 dead Americans and hundreds of casualties and billions of dollars spent for a strategic misadventure that is costing Americans today and will for months, if not years to come.
Pure speculation. How does this end?
There has to be an agreement, and Israel's got to be part of it, and they have to abide by it. To KB's point, I mean, you can't have a ceasefire and then them still bombing. I mean, in the region, it makes zero sense. And this is one area where I think we have total control over Israel and what they do because of what we've been willing to do. And frankly, the peace that this administration, both this current one and the 45 administration, were able to build in the Middle East with allies who had been fighting for centuries. So there's a lot at stake.
I think what Americans are underappreciating is the post-October 7th mindset for Israel, right? I don't think Bibi Netanyahu is a very good leader of the Israeli government or people. But take us back to 2003, 2 years after 9/11 here. You think we were going to let any country in the world tell us we couldn't get the vengeance that we wanted against Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda, and we got to pack up and leave Afghanistan because it's inconvenient for some of our allies? Never would have happened. Israel has a very different risk calculus right now because of what they went through on October 7th. That means that they've got one set of priorities and concerns.
They do.
And Trump and the United States have another entirely different one. That's part of why this is so complicated and never should have been done in the first place.
All right, you said that a number of times. After the break, Melania had a message for America. What'd she say? We'll discuss.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me every Saturday at 1 p.m. for Experience Wisconsin. We'll check in with communities across the state for the best and the brightest spots, happy spots, family spots, romantic spots around Wisconsin. This week, we're joined by Mindy Simons from Hayward Lakes. That's going to be great. And also, we'll be joined by Savannah Schindler from Beloit. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ. Great summer on tap. Let us help you plan it at Experience Wisconsin.
Hey, speaking of Wisconsin, WTMJ Steve Skivity here for Badger Fence. You looked in your yard. Maybe you don't have a fence. Maybe your fence is leaning, making noise in the wind. I've heard that squeak before. Well, if it's time to upgrade or think about the things that make a fence worthwhile, privacy, security, looks amazing, adds to your aesthetics of your yard, I chose Badger Fence I can't believe it's almost 10 years ago now. They've been installing fences around the Milwaukee area since 1945. They're good at it. They're great at it. Better Business Bureau accredited with an A+ rating and a longtime NARI Milwaukee member. They make it easy. They came to our house. They walked around. They asked us what we're looking for, the styles, the materials. We chose cedar, but you can get ornamental, chain link if that's your thing, PVC vinyl. They have some amazing new styles and designs. So you can land on the right look for your fence project at your home on your budget. Badger Fence is licensed, bonded, and insured. Use the best materials. And when you want a fence to hold up season after season, and a fence is on your to-do list, set up an appointment at badgerfence.com. That's badgerfence.com. Tell them Steve from WTMJ sent you.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
It's April, and if you're one of the over 700,000 people getting your annual Wisconsin Retirement System statement, Annex has something for you. If you have questions about your statement or how your WRS account should work with your overall retirement plan, join our planning and WRS experts on April 23rd for Understand Your WRS Pension Potential, a webinar hosted by Annex Wealth Management's Director of Financial Planning, Eric Strom. We'll walk through your statement, field any questions you have. That's Thursday, April 23rd at 1 in the afternoon. Register at events.annexwealth.com.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
In rare and seemed like almost impromptu. Well, we got audio. Want to play some audio? Keep going. Anyway, it was a rare appearance in this sort of weird presser stand at a podium thing from the First Lady of the United States about Jeffrey Epstein, which I was just telling Kristen, this is a big story that I don't think people have been talking about enough because I think there's so much more to that story. I know a lot of people disagree with me and talk radio, don't care. But she got up and sort of brought it back into
She reignited the conversation.
And it seemed like it was hastily arranged, and she was mad, and she, direct quote, lies linking me to the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein are untrue. Well, there's a lot of pictures swirling. I guess my question for you, Bill, is she sort of trying to preempt a bad breaking news story that somehow makes things even worse for anyone connected to Epstein?
I don't think so. I think she'd been fed up with it. And basically what she said was there are AI generated pictures that are fake.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah. That are fake, that show her even kissing Jeffrey Epstein, and she had had enough of it. And I'm 61 years old. I can't remember a first lady going to a podium and having a presser like that. So for her to do that suggests to me that she's had enough. She's not going to take it. She's not going to let the rumors swirl out there. There's a lot of people who hate Trump and say a lot of things about his relationship with Epstein. I think what Melania said at the very end was the best, which was have a public hearing. Invite the victims to come and testify. But frankly, offer them immunity if they need it.
Her husband doesn't want that.
Thought it was a hoax.
I think she's right about
decide not to
I think she's right about that.
Just decided to ignore her subpoena.
We've sort of lost sight of those victims. They had a press conference one day and said they were going to produce their own list, and that was 7 months ago.
Yeah, my recommendation is just put it out there.
Yeah,
at this point, just put it out there. Anything you got, put it out there. Don't wait for Congress or anybody else to put it out there. All right, we got some exciting stuff next hour. Talk a little space, maybe. That's always fun.
I think we have a lot more feel-good topics in the next half hour.
Yes, we do. Yeah, a war and elections for Republicans, not the most fun. But,
Took a couple L's this week.
Thank you for reminding us all of that fact.
The Brewers have still won 3 out of 4 series.
What was the music supposed to be?
I don't get the whole music thing. We'll talk about it during the break, as we often do. News is next.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination. With a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do,
you can't beat Burkhardt.
153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now, when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do,
you can't beat Burkhardt.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
Skylight Music Theater presents A Rockin' Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare's classic story meets an original genre-spanning score in this modern rock and roll musical full of humor, heart, and theatrical mischief. Join me, Sandy Max, for a special Max-experience on April 15th. We will begin having drinks in the Skylight Bar at 6:30 p.m., followed by the performance at 7:30. Purchase tickets for April 15th at skylightmusictheater.org to join me and use promo code SANDY15 for 15% off your ticket. See you there.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or your local CVS. Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
No politics, no talking points, just power.
Offering to Freeland. Here's a fly ball to right. It is high. It is deep. Bye-bye baseball.
The the Brewers look to shut down the Washington Nationals at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11 o'clock, we have 46 degrees, partly cloudy today with the highs 47 lakeside, 53 inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Consumer prices rose last month, led by surging energy costs due to the war in Iran. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the consumer price index jumped 0.9% for the month, pushing the annual inflation rate to 3.3%. Energy prices jumped by 10.9%. Ahead of the summer holidays, airfare is set to spike.
Domestic summer airfares are up as much as 20%, according to travel company Going. Airlines are raising fares as the price of jet fuel has skyrocketed due to the conflict in the Middle East. Carriers are also hiking bag fees, cutting capacity, and adding fuel surcharges to mitigate those costs. Clara McMichael, ABC News.
The U.S. and Iran preparing for their first high-level meeting since 1979. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Pakistan ahead of the upcoming peace talks. Said discussions are going to be positive while warning Iran not to play the U.S. Meanwhile, President Trump said Iran is doing a very poor job of allowing oil to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. As NBC News reports, only 19 vessels have gone through the waterway since the ceasefire was announced. One person has died after being hit by a car on Milwaukee's northwest side. Police responded to the crash near 60th and Silver Spring Drive around 6:30 this morning. Car was trying to make a left turn when it hit a 52-year-old. That person died at the scene. 26-year-old driver was arrested. Man responsible for a random stabbing in Greenfield will spend the rest of his life under the care of the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Amando Lang admitted to killing Ben Christensen in 2019, but was found not guilty by reason of mental defect. His recent living placement allowed him to leave a Franklin mental health facility when he wanted, until he had a mental health crisis outside his mother's home last summer. Judge David Swanson.
He's in a facility where he's constantly under supervision, and it's appropriate, given the background of this case, for that plan to remain in place.
Judge Swanson approved a new plan that only allows Lang to leave when accompanied by supervisors. The attorney for Brian Hooker, who's been arrested in connection with the disappearance of his wife in the Bahamas, says her client is devastated. Terrell Butler told reporters Hooker had no intention to hurt his wife, Lynette.
He's heartbroken. And then to be arrested while assisting the police with their investigation, it is very traumatic for him.
The couple were on a dinghy last Saturday when he says she fell overboard, along with the key that kept the boat's engine running. Brian alerted police to her disappearance the next morning, said bad weather was a factor in the accident. He's being held in the Bahamas, but has not yet been charged with the crime. The crew of the Artemis II lunar mission getting closer to returning to Earth. The Orion spacecraft carrying the 4 astronauts will splash down to the Pacific Ocean tonight off the coast of California. The USS John P. Murtha will recover the crew around 5:07 p.m. Pacific time near San Diego. Celebrating America's 250th birthday with drones and fireworks. The drone show planned for July 3rd at McKinley Beach will feature pyrotechnics into the show. Milwaukee County Supervisor Sheldon Wasserman.
Nobody's done this before in the state of Wisconsin, from what I've heard. Very few companies can even do this because this is the cutting edge of fireworks and the cutting edge of drones. They're combining it together to celebrate our 250th birthday of our country right here.
The drone show will last about 45 minutes. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow now down 237 points. NASDAQ up 58. S&P 500 is off 6. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:04.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. It's vacation season, and you may be out with your family and friends. Maybe you're on a plane or in a car, and the last thing you want to deal with is joint pain. You're at the end of your rope with that knee pain, or your hips, or the shoulder, maybe the back. It keeps you up at night, and now it may keep you from enjoying a trip to the beach. There's got to be another way, and there is. QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics and its regenerative treatments can help you and do it without surgery and without long recoveries. It's time to get relief. Call QC Kinetics and set yourself up a free appointment. They have a clinic in Mequon. They have another one in Greenfield. The treatments are super easy, done right there in the office, and then you can go on about your day. Here's the number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call today and get your life back. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Vinny's European vacation, our trip to Sicily, southern Italy, Rome, is about to sell out, but my team at Colette tells me we do have a bit more room for a limited time. Palermo, Valley of the Temples, Mount Etna, Pompeii, food, wine, and history with a local guide every step of the way. Email vince@WTMJ.com for the full itinerary. I've met so many of the folks who are already signed up. This is going to be a great group. There is room for you. Southern Italy and Sicily this fall. Vince@WTMJ.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Wisconsin men's hockey team through to the Frozen Four final for the first time since 2010. Badgers upset number 2 North Dakota 2-1. Wisconsin battles Denver tomorrow night. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Bucks tip off against the Nets at home. Milwaukee's already been eliminated from playoff contention. And the Brewers square off against the Nationals at home. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a left lane blocked due to a crash. I-43 south, about 4 miles beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 32 County Road LL. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, highs 47 to 53. Clear and 35 overnight. Partly cloudy tomorrow, chance for afternoon or evening showers. Highs 50 lakeside up to 58 inland. Scattered showers and storms on Sunday with a high 70. Just a slight chance of rain on Monday with a high 73. And a chance for showers and storms again on Tuesday with a high of 72. 46 in Madison, 42 in Green Bay, 46 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Welcome back. All right, let's get into our Space Awe segment of the day. What is the TikTok, Joe Zepecki, as far as what we can expect for
between 7:03 and 7:07 p.m. Central Time, Artemis 2 is scheduled to splash down. In the moments before that, there will be 6 minutes of radio silence as they re-enter. That's like the most dangerous part of it, the burn. Then there will be a sequence where like initial chutes deploy and then the main chute deploys and then they splash down. Godspeed to those brave souls. I think this has really captured the attention of the world and been such a welcome respite from so much of like the bad stuff that I've just really loved every moment of it.
I would say it could have been more. Steve and I are old enough to remember when space was a really big deal in the early 70s. They brought TVs into every classroom, and every kid watched it.
But do you wonder if that's happening now? Because I know
it's not.
Oh, that's bad.
And that's a mistake. These kids should be watching that.
You don't think they're watching it on their phones between classes?
Well, we just banned phones in Wisconsin.
Yeah, not
schools.
after July 1st. They won't be doing that.
But that's a layup, right? For teachers and principals and administrators.
If you care about it.
Yeah, we're going to watch this because, Joe, it is uniting. This is the most American thing that's happened since our gold medals in Milan.
Yeah, right.
And we're not doing enough to highlight it. And I'm really disappointed about that. I think it's just beyond cool what's going on and what's coming next and how fast it's coming. When I think about what they were able to accomplish when I was a 7-year-old in 1972 with that technology versus where we are today, 50 years later, I mean, it's spectacular, and it's just the beginning.
I want to make, as the token woman in this 4-pack, just remind everyone that the last time we went to the moon, women weren't allowed to have a credit card. And now we have, I'm going to get emotional, and now we have so many photos this week of braids floating in space.
Yeah.
And women in leading mission control and so many women at NASA who are doing this. And I just, it's very cool.
It's so
Super
cool. Even when these guys raise the bar on all of us men down here and honor their late wives with craters being named after them. I mean, just like love can literally travel farther than any human has ever traveled before. It's just, there were so many moments like that. And, you know, seeing Kristen get emotional and I get emotional, but like, yeah, some of the photos.
I had to turn away.
Some of the photos of her just like looking out of the window of the craft at planet Earth and all of us, and like some of the photos that it's like clearly like a selfie stick from outside of Integrity, where you can see the capsule and you can see the moon and you can see planet Earth, which means you can see all of us. If that doesn't make you like just stop and be in amazement, I don't know what's wrong with you.
And also just like a reminder of how small so much of our problems could be if we chose them to be less significant, right? As far as how vast this universe is and how small we are in it, and understanding the small time that we get to be here and how much little space we do take up, and taking them, like not taking anything for granted and not wasting it on wars and violence and ego, and just a reminder of how precious it all is. I don't know. It is very cool.
And to Bill's point, if school districts missed the opportunity for Artemis, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening in the next decade.
I've got it
built
here.
into their curriculum.
So Artemis 3, 2027 is in low Earth orbit, but it'll test landers from SpaceX and Blue Origin. Artemis 4, 2028, the first Artemis lunar landing. That date has been fixed since last year. They'll transfer and do the splashdown. Then Artemis 5 is a follow-on mission later in 2028 and the idea here is to like build a permanent, infrastructure on the moon to facilitate what's next, Mars. And that's really cool.
Yeah, if your school district sees the opportunity, it's going to be right there for you. Build it in.
It's not political.
It's not. It's a celebration of technology and coming together, because we've had International Space Station for a long time. That's the good part of all this globalism. Let's figure out the rest of it.
I just really hope, and you guys please hold me accountable on this, I have been so calm and not frustrated at all about what's happening with my car trouble.
Right.
And I really think some of it is the Artemis
calm
2.
for a Polish guy.
I just hope that them splashing down tonight doesn't mean that next week, as my car trouble saga continues, that I suddenly revert to my old ways and get really frustrated.
All right. You're good.
All right.
You're good, too. All right, Joe, Bill, Kristen, Steve, after the break, say something nice.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike at the nation's largest bike sale. I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket, and our Bike Expo sale is back at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds this weekend inside the Expo building. Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes, all on display and ready to ride. So whether you're seeking health and wellness, adventure and fun, or just a new hobby, the path to your new journey leads to the Bike Expo sale. And remember, all of our bikes come with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means you can ride it for 30 days. And if you don't love it, we'll refund your money.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 inside the Expo Center. Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like. And you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house, or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text FLOOR to 855-616-1620, and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
No politics, no talking points, just power.
Offering the free look is a fly ball to ride. It is high. It is deep. Bye-bye baseball. Driven left center. See you later.
The Brewers look to shut down the Washington Nationals at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ. Yeah. You keep saying your side is better. It's time to say something nice about the other side of the political aisle on Point Taken.
Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together.
All right, squishes. Bill, what do you got this week for Say Something Nice?
Okay. So one outcome on Tuesday night was there was a Democratic mayor elected in the city of Waukesha. That is actually not unique. Larry Nelson was a Democratic mayor. The current mayor, Sean Riley, started as a Republican. He has switched to being a Democrat, but he is the mayor today.
I think he's an independent.
I think he calls himself a Democrat.
Does he? I thought he just revoked. He's an independent now, but we will check.
Alicia Habensleben was elected on Tuesday night in a close election, 51-49. You guys had her on. Happened to listen that day. I was impressed by her thoughtfulness on a major policy item, that being shared revenue. And she had some suggestions on how the state can continue to improve that. And honestly, she's in a position where she might be able to influence that. And very inside baseball, the cities of Waukesha, Eau Claire, and Janesville get punished by the shared revenue formula. Very few people know that except the people that represent those communities, but they absolutely get screwed by it, and she's right to do it. But here's my advice to the new mayor-elect. You should start working on a plan now with your colleagues that are in local government and come ready in January with a new governor and a new legislature to present that. Don't count on lawmakers to figure this out for you.
Is that because of specifically their size?
Yeah.
Because they're all about equal size?
Yeah.
Joe Zepecki.
We talked, there's so much has happened this week that we did not dwell on the absurdity of the threat to end a civilization on Tuesday. And the cracks in MAGA and people sort of saying enough of this have been increasing. And certainly you saw more of that after the civilizational threat. I don't think for a second that Ron Johnson is breaking with Donald Trump, but I was very happy to hear him say on Tuesday, this is Senator Ron Johnson, who I'm quoting, I am hoping and praying that President Trump is that this is really bluster. I do not want to see us start blowing up civilian infrastructure. I do not want to see that. We are not at war with the Iranian people. We are trying to liberate them, end quote. Good on you, Senator Johnson. I will always call you out when I think you're wrong, but I will say something nice when you are correct, and you are certainly correct in this instance.
You think the president listens to Ron Johnson? Senator Ron Johnson?
I think at this point there are very few voices who even have access to Donald Trump, and that is one of the problems.
Lisa Murkowski also rebuked that tweet, and so that'll be my glob on for Say Something Nice.
All right, so I've been paying attention to Democratic candidates' potential for 2028 because we try to figure out what's going on. And I've noticed in some of their speeches, some of their interviews, they're talking more about border security, which is actually a smart thing to do. So I've got some quotes in a second, but that's a different sort of a strategy than what we've seen previously, 2010s, 2020s. Democrats always talk about pathway to citizenship. They talked about limiting enforcement tactics. Well, they're sort of shifting the language now, and I hear these candidates, Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, Pete Buttigieg, using terms like order at the border, enforcement credibility, managing immigration and border policy. That's an awareness, I think, by Democrats. You better pay attention to this issue. That was one of the things, and I've complimented the president on this, that he got right. People were thinking about border policy, all of this sort of mismanagement for decades through all kinds of administrations. That's a good development. And being serious about an issue, especially when you're talking about it's a ways away, but 2028 is coming, understanding where the population is, where the voters are on an issue that I think most Americans would agree, regardless of their flavor. So I give it up to those individuals, Newsom, Shapiro, and Buttigieg, for, in my mind, saying the right thing on border policy. All right. We saved plenty of time for grab bag. We have to fill 10 minutes, but I think we can do it.
I think we'll
do
be
it.
fine.
All right. I believe in us.
All right. Jazz is giving a thumbs up on the break. Love this Friday edition. I know you guys do do too. Don't forget the newsletter. If you miss any or all of it, we actually link in some of the cool stuff, some of the great things we do during the week. Easy, extra, EXTRA. You can subscribe to the newsletter.
Text extra to 855-616-1620. We'll send you a link to subscribe to our newsletter, which will have a new, fresh makeover this weekend.
Yeah, because we're always looking to improve.
We are. That's what you and I have in common.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that what we have in common? Certainly not politics. Anyway, quick break.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Yeah, Debbie, this is Dan. South of K, there's a car fire in the southbound lane, closing off 3 lanes.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hey, Debbie, just calling in. There's 2 separate accidents, 94 westbound.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
There was an accident. There's already 4 cops there and an ambulance.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Committee. April, yes, we're in April, and if you're over this, let me get it right. If you're over 700,000 people like you are all getting your annual Wisconsin Retirement System statements, Annex has something for you. These are great, and I've hosted a lot of these. I've listened to a lot of them. If you have questions about your WRS statement or how your WRS account should work with your overall retirement plan, join planning and WRS experts on April 23rd for Understanding Your WRS Pension Potential, a webinar hosted by me and Annex. Well, this is the big and. Annex Wealth Management's Director of Financial Planning, Eric Strom, will walk through your statements and field any questions you have. It's an awesome Q&A. You fire the question at Eric, he will do his best to answer it. And even if you can't get your question in, they'll answer it afterwards. It's Thursday, April 23rd at 1 in the afternoon, about 2 weeks away. Easy to register. Go to events.annexwealth.com.
Personal injury lawyers seem like they're a dime a dozen, but Frank Pasternak and I are not about T-shirts or cartoons. At Pasternak and Zergabel, we focus on serious cases and real results for injured Wisconsinites. We are 2 of Wisconsin's best injury lawyers. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Our clients trust Pasternak and Zergabel because we show up, we listen, and we fight for you. If you need help, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
All right, since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
All right. Who wants to go first with their grab bag?
I'm going to go first and celebrate something I said last week, which is the Wisconsin Badgers men's hockey team. The Badgers beat their longtime rival, not so much anymore because there's no longer a WCHA, North Dakota, who used to be the Fighting Sioux, now the Fighting Hawks, yesterday in the national semifinals in Las Vegas, 2-1. Badger goalie Hauser was spectacular. I mean, just spectacular. I think the Badgers are well equipped to win the national championship tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 Central. I think that'll be on ESPN2 like it was yesterday. This would be the first national championship for the men's team in 16 years. In fact, it's the first time they've been in the Frozen Four in 16 years. So it is a very big deal. But I'm going to follow that on with an accomplishment of a former Badger from right here in Wisconsin, Cole Caulfield from Stevens Point, Wisconsin. He played for the Badgers for 2 years before he went pro. Many thought he should have been on the gold medal winning Olympic team this year. I'm fully behind Billy Guerin, the GM who made the selections. I think Cole will be on the next Olympic team. Last night, he scored his 50th goal of the season for the Montreal Canadiens, becoming only the second Badger in history to score 50 goals in the NHL, joining Danny Heatley. So congratulations to Cole Caulfield. Congratulations to the Badgers. It's been a long time coming, and we would be the second team to ever win the men's and women's in the same year, joining the 2006 Wisconsin Badgers if it happens.
Wow. That's a cool fact.
That's a fun fact.
We might as well call this show Politics and Pucks.
I like it. I like it.
I love that.
Seasons are over soon. And ish. All right, Joe.
You guys been to a Buc-ee's?
No.
I have. I love them.
I stopped at a Buc-ee's on the way back. It was my first time.
Tell us about
you got to go.
So on the way down, the line for this mega convenience store gas station, it's like a Quick Trip on steroids.
Yeah, and you're like, your gas pump is 4 blocks from the store.
Yeah. And the line to get into the parking lot was about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were like, screw that. We're going to continue on. But then on the way back, there was less of a line and we did need fuel. So we stopped and pumped gas. And we went into that Buc-ee's. First of all, Bucky is a Badger. I don't know what the hell that Bucky rodent thing is, but Bucky Badger remains superior. And I got to tell you, the inside of that store was the closest thing I've ever been to the seventh circle of hell. It was pandemonium.
Oh, yeah. That's part of the draw.
Apparently, we're getting one of these in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
No, in Oak Creek.
In Oak Creek.
In Oak Creek,
if you or your loved ones have any type of neuro complications or neurodivergent, do not take them into the Buc-ee's. They might spontaneously combust. If I never go to a Buc-ee's again in my short time on this beautiful earth, it will be too soon.
That's sort of a negative.
I thought you were going to have it was a funny one, but I don't know if it's a positive
Maybe
one.
we should go. We should have a requirement that they be positive. Mine's positive. My dad celebrated his 90th birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
So I am lucky, and
You are lucky.
I have both of my parents are 90 years old, and I'll be celebrating along with Kathy with them in Vegas next week because they actually go more than we go, and we go 4 times a year. They love Vegas, so we'll go take them out for a couple steak dinners. We'll hang maybe at the pool a little bit. If they want to do that, we'll play some slots. I'll take my dad to play blackjack with me.
Very cool.
So who pays? Does he finance or do I finance?
You.
I feel like Dad pays.
I got to pay?
You got to pay.
I think Dad pays, right?
Yeah.
He's got the money. What are you talking about? So, happy birthday. He had the craziest.
You're a lucky man.
Talk about 4-packs, 4 boys. My brother Chris is way younger, but the rest of us, we just fought constantly. If he sent us to do something, we did the opposite. We broke the rules. We got in trouble. But yeah, we all turned out. So my dad and my mom have done a tremendous job. So happy birthday, Dad. My dad's name is Dominic. You've earned it, and you've been through a lot with the 4.
And good luck at the tables.
Yeah.
Good luck. We'll have to figure out the finance part of it.
Mine, so I've been talking about, I'm doing this documentary, and it's been a very fun pulling on the thread and getting introduced to different things happening in Wisconsin. And I have learned now about the legislative semester.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, you've heard of this?
I'm familiar with it.
It is an innovative, very cool way to teach American government and civics. The mission is preparing young people for a lifetime of civic engagement by building skills in civil dialogue, information literacy, and depolarization. And so I have spent the week talking to social studies, civics teachers across Wisconsin, and it has been so cool. It has been so cool to hear these. Some are young. Some are only 27 or 28. Some are closer to my age. Some are older than me. Of hearing in their enthusiasm about how enthusiastic their students are about learning how to talk to each other because they do current events. They write their own bills. They elect a Speaker of the House. They have committee hearings on how to get a bill passed. It is so encouraging, and it's been a very awesome part of my week to have these conversations and hear about such an innovative way that we are approaching civics in our high schools, and so that has been a very cool part of my week.
There's 3 out of 4 positives. Looking at you, Mr. Joseph Pecky. Bill McCoshen.
Bucky Badger is superior.
I'm a
That's
positive with Bucky's. I
All
love
right.
it.
Got local news updates and ABC. Here you go.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Vice President Vance and the rest of the U.S. delegation have left for Islamabad, Pakistan, for the talks with Iran.
We're going to try to have a positive negotiation. The president has gave us some pretty clear guidelines, and we're going to see.
Egg prices are down, but gasoline, beef, lettuce, coffee, and more are up in today's government main inflation gauge report. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
We are not yet seeing in this report a big spike in food costs because of higher oil. We know that a lot of grocers paying fuel surcharges. They often pass those costs down to shoppers, so that would likely show up in the months ahead.
8:07 p.m. Eastern Time is splashdown for the Artemis II moon mission crew off the coast of San Diego. The astronauts were woken up by two songs today. Run to the Water by Live, also Free by the Zac Brown Band. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. Our leaders overseeing the universities of Wisconsin pushing back on claims fired President Jay Rothman was blindsided. Two regions say he knew the concerns ahead of Tuesday's vote to remove him. They say Rothman was slow to act on key issues like artificial intelligence, was not fully aligned with the board, and attempted to limit public board discussions and open records. Regent President Amy Bogos says the decision was unanimous and not political. Regents say Rothman could speak publicly about his firing, but hasn't, while accusing him of pushing a one-sided narrative that harms the university system. Governor Tony Evers legalizes online sports betting while acknowledging challenges lie ahead. Governor said in a statement he's signing the bill because my obligation as governor is always to respect the sovereignty of tribal nations in Wisconsin. The bill will allow Native tribes to operate sports betting apps where the app server is located on tribal land, following the hub-and-spoke model adopted in some other states. 22-year-old man from Kenosha arrested in connection with the shooting of a 4-year-old happened at 28th Avenue and 40th Street around 4 p.m. Tuesday. The little boy is in the hospital in stable condition. Charges include negligent use of a weapon. Time for some news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 265 points, 47,919. NASDAQ up 67, 22,889. S&P 500 is down 5 points at 6,818. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. That crash that was blocking the left lane, I-43 south, about 4 miles beyond the ramp from Wisconsin Highway 32, now has been cleared off the roadway. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, highs 47 lakeside, 53 inland, mostly clear overnight with a low of 35. Chance for afternoon and evening showers tomorrow, highs 50 to 58. Scattered showers and storms on Sunday with a high 70. Slight chance of rain on Monday, high 73, and a chance for showers and storms again on Tuesday, 72 for the high. 46 in Madison, 42 in Green Bay, 46 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Hey, is your son, daughter, or grandchild's birthday soon? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Hosting a birthday party is a lot of work. No need for you to cook and organize, then clean your home. How about having your party at the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free, with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or 50, the Mineshaft will host your party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids will love you more than ever. They even have your cake. I highly recommend the Mineshaft Restaurant for your next birthday party or a really fun, interactive business gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford. Click on Party Planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mineshaft.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
All right. So, when it comes to using the F word, we already know that our president used it on Easter.
Yeah. He's used it more than once.
He has used it more than once. But who uses it the most when it comes to governors and members of Congress? Would you guess that two of the top three are in Wisconsin?
Yeah,
Did this surprise you?
No, it's the least surprising thing ever because I see their Twitter battles.
All right, so there's only one member of Congress that uses the F word more than two Wisconsin lawmakers, and this was according to a new list that was compiled by the New York Times. And if you have to, I'll give you 5 seconds to guess if you have not seen this article yet on who the two Wisconsin lawmakers are. Do you have your guesses locked in? Representative Derek Van Orden and Representative Mark Pocan, usually using it, I imagine, at each other. What do you make of this?
I don't like it. I think it's unprofessional. I think it lacks dignity, decorum. I'll say this, so I'm going to both sides this. I don't like either one of them. I don't think either one should serve anybody anymore. Because if you're so focused on this, one questions your ability to focus on your real jobs, which is my problem. So you can think you're clever, you can think you're funny. You're stretching the limits of what politicians traditionally have done, but you look like idiots. Both of you look like idiots. And in my world, I'm done with you. Go do something else. Go be marketing guys, or if you can be popular enough, make money doing content creation. But you're clearly off your rockers.
Yeah. I don't know what the actual list is of how many times I've used it in how many. Like, what is the timestamp on it?
It's a weird dynamic, too.
They have a very weird dynamic, but yeah, I would just, I don't know. I don't know who this appeals to. Because there are some people who like it, right? Like, there are some people who like the dunking on liberals or vice versa, and the mean tweets back and forth. But
it's almost like this weird, like a love-hate thing, like they're so attracted to each other's Twitter accounts that they can't leave it alone, but yet they just spew hate at each other.
Oh, this is interesting. Number of X posts that mention the F word by month between 2020 and 2026. Fairly, like, ebbs and flows, but kind of consistent, more so with Democrats. Huge spike, almost for Republicans, almost completely nothing until huge spike when Charlie Kirk was killed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is a New York Times. It wasn't just looking at individual.
It said Dems swear more, isn't that the?
Yeah.
Yes. Which that didn't surprise me.
But I wouldn't have thought two out of the top 5 in Wisconsin.
Who are the other 3?
So Ruben Gallego, from
Gallego,
Arizona.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
I think it's Gallego. Yeah.
Gallego. Derek Van Orden, Mark Pocan, Eric Swalwell.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Robert Garcia. Brian Schatz, Greg Landsman, John Fetterman.
Yeah, Fetterman, I guess.
And it's not like every single tweet, right? Ruben Gallego was 77, and that's since 2020. Derek Van Orden was 35 since 2020. Mark Pocan's 30 since 2020, and so down. So, like, you think about how much these guys tweet. I like that they're all men.
Yeah, because I can think of a woman who's running for governor who, if you did her numbers, and we've had her on the show. Her first name's Francesca.
Oh.
How many F-bombs do you think she...
Well, they probably didn't look at hers because she's not a member of Congress yet.
But I would love to see that number. I bet you it's 1,000.
No.
Oh, my God, yes.
I don't think that's true. 1,000?
I'm going to chat...
Of F words?
Yeah, I'm going to chat GPT that. Okay. Let's see what we come up with. All right, after the break for our important partners, and just so we can all take a nice pause to refresh, the Weekend Review brought to you by, I love these guys, Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scavidi here. 70 years, yes, 70. Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door or an old garage door or an opener problem get you down today. You don't want that bad news. Call my friends at Geis today with brands like CHI, LiftMaster. They have doors for every budget and can even build custom doors. I saw a couple of these at their showroom to meet your needs and your budget. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield. I was amazed. And I was so blown away by the technology with openers now. Cameras and new apps that can make you easy to open and close your door or check that it's even closed when you're driving away and you're on the freeway. Hundreds of doors and openers, custom designs. Don't think twice. Call Geis, Geis, geisdoors.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to lead play-by-play broadcaster for the NBA on ESPN Radio, Mark Kestisher. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Have you seen my husband?
No.
My husband is hot.
Okay.
And he just keeps getting hotter and hotter.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What?
But I have good news.
You do?
Hasselus Mattress is home to a variety of cool gel mattresses, including Tempur-Pedic.
No, I mean he's hot.
When he sleeps, I can relate. But our cool gel mattresses sleep an average of 10 degrees cooler than traditional mattresses. So he'll be cool as a cucumber.
Okay, but...
And right now, get 48 months interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic with approved credit.
Well, that's great, but...
Plus, free next-day delivery and setup, free removal of your old mattress, and a $300 MasterCard gift card with your new Tempur-Pedic.
Hold on. You're saying I can cool down with a new Tempur-Pedic with no interest for 48 months and a $300 gift card?
What do you think?
I think that's pretty hot.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Regular Friday feature on Point Taken. A landslide victory. Oh, you bet it was. We talked about it in the early part of the show. A sudden ceasefire. Big bills. We didn't say big, beautiful bills signed by the governor and more. It's the Weekend Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Release the Kraken.
And Sanchez, a blast to left. Bye, baseball. The Kraken goes deep.
Fly me to the moon.
When exactly do you say you've gotten to the moon? If you're not going to land on it, when are you there?
That's no moon.
Breaking news, Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee evacuated after a fire broke out in a building connected to the complex.
People are just waiting around, making sure that everyone's safe.
So we are trying to find more on-air personalities who would be a good fit for a group travel host.
I've got one.
Do you?
Julia Fellows is taking a trip.
Oh my gosh, there's the girl.
I have suggested that Giannis is trying to get the girl to break up with him.
I say this with love. Did you read any of the 3 articles? The Giannis Antetokounmpo that you've known for 13 years, you think now he's like manipulative?
President Trump's deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz just about 12 hours away. If not, he says
every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Do you feel any fear right now?
Yes!
Many Wisconsinites are using their lunch break at noon to
Pokemon go to the polls.
The only statewide race is for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Voters in Brookfield, Waukesha, and Franklin also among those choosing a mayor today.
Shelley Kittleson has been released. A journalist from Wisconsin. She was kidnapped in Baghdad exactly a week ago.
The Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents votes to fire System President Jay Rothman.
Rothman's firing follows his assertions that he was never given a reason.
President Rothman was not without notice, nor was the process sudden.
Liberals in Wisconsin scoring another major victory in the state Supreme Court election.
People are hungry for a judiciary that prioritizes them. That is exactly what I will do.
And then the war with Iran, a 2-week ceasefire declared by President Trump.
Was this our Bay of Pigs?
I don't think we're there yet.
The chaos that we are all living through is unforgivable.
It's okay as a Republican to criticize this president. If you don't do that, I just don't have any use for you.
Governor Tony Evers partially approves a bill establishing rights and obligations concerning the use of name, image, and likeness for Wisconsin student athletes.
The governor vetoed sections referencing facility maintenance costs.
The first groups at the Masters should be just getting out on the course this morning at Augusta National. 6:40 was the opening tee time this morning. They already had the honorary first drive, Jack Nicklaus. All right, that's enough of that. Wednesday.
Okay. The Milwaukee Brewers are going statewide with their new City Connect look, the Wisco Way uniforms. It's a little polarizing, isn't it, Wisco?
Call me crazy. It would have looked good to have Brewers written across that jersey.
For people who never use that term, it just feels a little strange.
The governor signs the betting bill into law.
He wanted to make sure there are 11 state tribes here, and he wanted to make sure all of them were on board with this.
Milwaukee on the global culinary stage. There are 6 cities connected to the Great Lakes region that will now be part of the American Great Lakes Guide.
Being part of the Mission Guide selection is already an achievement in itself.
What a week, eh? What a week.
We have good water. I can take a drink right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Oh, you go, Mayor. That was the Weekend in Review. Good job, Jazz. Presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. We'll wrap up the Friday show and the week. It was right here on Point Taken. Kristen and Steve, 620 WTMJ.
It's early in the year, but if you want that outdoor living project, that dream outdoor oasis started, you need to visit Outdoor Living Unlimited's amazing showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha. Nobody has a showroom like it. Bring your ideas, get new ideas, but let's design and build a backyard together. New deck, outdoor kitchen, fire pit, screen room, even a putting green or an automated pergola. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Have you ever thought to yourself, I want my house to look better than it does. I just don't know where to even start or even what to do. Tri-County Contracting can help you with that. They can help you love your home again. They have the design consultants, they've got the showroom, they've got real picture renderings, they've got it all to help turn your home back into your dream home. Tri-County Contracting, WDI.com. Love your home again with Tri-County Contracting.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike during the nation's largest bike sale. That's right, the Wheel and Sprocket Bike Expo sale is back. And so is our trade-in, trade-up program, which means you can trade in your old bike for a gift card to use towards your new bike.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes. Over 2,000 brand new and used bikes on sale, along with thousands of accessories. From helmets and lights to car racks and more.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, trade in your old bike for a gift card towards a new bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 at the State Fair Park inside the Expo Center. Visit BikeExpoSale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
Experience the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club's Friday All You Care to Eat Lenten Fish Fry, one of the best. It's delicious. The magnificent Sunday brunch is All You Care to Eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. Google, call, reserve today. The Fox and Hounds.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, removing job barriers for dreamers in Wisconsin. The legislation allows recipients of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program to receive occupational licenses from the state.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
The Milwaukee Public Works Committee approves a resolution to temporarily return the street named Cesar Chavez Drive back to South 16th Street.
Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
What a fun show today. If you missed,
Guys were on fire.
We had a lot of fun together. I cried.
You were emotional. Yeah. Well, why not?
Emotional? You and me.
You are.
All right, so if you missed any part of today's show, you can always listen to it as a podcast. You can also find everything we did this week in our newsletter.
It's a busy week.
So if you text EXTRA to 855-616-1620, you will get a newsletter delivered straight to your inbox around 9 a.m. on Sunday. Brand new look. It's much more modern and sleek than it's looked in the last little bit.
And tell your friends.
And tell your friends and share it. But yes, so we had a lot of good shows this week.
Good interviews.
Good interviews. We had a new podcast come out, our bonus pod for Should Candidates Be Sexier?
A lot of people were surprised about my Nancy Mace pick. I didn't say
you just told people, like we want people to listen because they want to guess who you said, and now you just ruined it.
I didn't ruin it. I'm not. Now they go, he picked Nancy Mace. I must hear why he's making that argument. And I do go into exquisite detail. I admitted, this kind of conversation is completely sexist and misogynistic, but that was sort of the topic.
I don't know if it's sexist, misogynistic. I think it's superficial.
To talk about women's looks?
We were talking about a lot of people's looks. We weren't just talking about women's looks.
I'm absolved because you were talking about men, too, so it was fair share.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That it was superficial.
But it is. To talk about someone's looks is generally not the best thing.
Which you do a lot of. You have a lot of commentary on how people look, both men and women.
Often complimentary. Yeah.
I would say it's 50-50.
I think so. That's not 50-50.
It is 50-50.
It's 3 out of 4 times positive, not negative.
No, it's not.
Oh, my God, yes.
All right, I'm going to start keeping track. My notes app on my phone, I'm going to start keeping a tally.
Why don't you be like Matzik and do like a spreadsheet on it?
Does Matzik do a lot of spreadsheets?
We were talking about Excel spreadsheets because I used to do a lot of those for work.
I love a good spreadsheet.
I do too because there's all tricks of the trade and not making stuff work better. This is sort of impromptu, but I'm going out to the Bike Expo at State Fair Park. My friends at Wheel and Sprocket.
We love Wheel and Sprocket.
Oh my God, we love them, and I'm going to hopefully interview Amelia Cagle out there.
Tell her I say hi.
She's awesome. I'll tell you this because last year I was stunned by the cool bikes you could get for very low prices.
Surprised you don't have an electric bike.
I used to be more into biking.
You seem like someone who would have an electric bike and just go around Oak Creek waving at people.
Like parade wave?
Yes.
I do have a hybrid vehicle.
You do.
Here's the cool thing. Here's a little fun fact. So I was trying to get, last filled up before yesterday on the 13th of March, and I had gone almost a whole month without filling up because it's a hybrid. And I had to fill up yesterday. I was getting a little bit too uncomfortable. It was under like
What'd you pay?
$369. The last time I filled up, it was $319.
My brother's in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's crazy.
$769.
Oh my God, that's nuts.
He sent a picture yesterday, $769 for
Wasn't he just
unleaded.
in the Middle East?
Well, that was when the war started.
Yeah. Now he's in Los Angeles.
Now he's a Rolling Stone.
Apparently.
We like
he's just sleeping on people's cots, or what's he doing? Is he working?
No, he's living out there now.
Okay.
You got a lease for a new apartment. He's out there.
People were asking, how do you get the newsletter? Just text the word extra, not X. Text her from the 262. Extra. EXTRA for the non-spellers out there. It's trust me, it comes out once a week. It's a great read. I read it.
What should our survey be this week?
What question should we ask?
Maybe what is this week's election tell us about the
Were you surprised by the results?
Fall?
Yeah. We'll craft something in the next hour or so. But yeah, it's a great read. It's a fun read. We don't overstimulate you. We give you some good ideas. I have a great recommendation on some YouTube watching, which I've sort of been transfixed by lately, about game changers and people who have big ideas about big issues. That's sort of my theme lately. Maybe I'm thinking too big. Maybe I need to come back down a little bit. Too big? Bring it down? More local?
I think you're fine.
Okay. All right.
You're
I'm just
crushing
naturally
it.
curious.
You're doing great.
I'm naturally curious.
So before your week to Vegas, what are you doing this weekend? You're going to Wheel and Sprocket and doing all that next.
Then I'm going out to dinner with some friends, listener friends, Greg and Michelle, who met us on a trip to Cancun. So that's going to be fun. Hey, Palmer's Steakhouse, be ready for us at 6:30. I think that's when our reservations are. Looking forward to that. Been there before. Awesome steakhouse. And then I was encouraged by, because I saw the rain forecast for the weekend. It looked like washouts. Apparently not so. Chance of showers on Sunday and then half and half on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm doing the Milwaukee, there's a Milwaukee Marathon thing happening this weekend, but I'm doing the 5K. And let's be honest, I'm walking the 5K.
I picture you as somebody, because I used to see these people in races. I used to do a lot of races, who just for fun, because you're kind of a wacky girl, sprints as fast as they can for the first 100 yards. And I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be competitive. And you just walk the rest. You ever done that?
I've never done that.
I've seen people do that in races.
I feel like that's something my husband would do.
Yes.
I'm doing the most quintessential, when I tell you the birthday party that I'm going to tonight and what we're doing, you're going to laugh. And I think everyone on the text line will probably, or listening right now will probably be like, oh, that clocks. It is my girlfriend's birthday tonight. And we are line dancing.
You're what?
Line dancing. And the person who is teaching us line dancing is a drag queen.
That does sound like you and your girlfriend. Well, do you not know how to line dance?
I do not know how to line dance. The invite said wear slutty, colorful cowboy gear. So check out the pictures later this weekend.
I don't know a lot about line dancing, but that sounds like line dancing to me. So have fun and report back on Monday.
Will.
The news, folks, on 620 WTMJ is next.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, the employee benefits insurance market gets more complex every day.
Thank you, Vince. Great to be here. I'd like to start today with another question for every business owner or individual that provides employee benefits insurance to their associates. Do you really understand how your plan is performing?